great production from both sides of the ball. Really good production from the red team. I felt like they started really strong from the standpoint of playing sound football. White team in particular, I thought played particularly well on defense, and without question, we saw a lot of the same stuff and the same themes that we've seen throughout the course of camp. I think the defense overall, outside of missing a couple fits in the run game and Quentin Baker just being absolutely freakish as a running back, I thought didn't allow a ton of explosive plays until later in the game. I think it was a very soundly played football game, particularly in the first half when you're playing with your starters on both sides of the ball, which, as we know, obviously was split squads. But I was really impressed with the way the guys competed, and they really bought into the idea of really dividing up our teams into red and white. There was tremendous juice, tremendous energy going into this spring game, and white team's going to be having steaks. Chris Johnson told me he likes a medium well, so we're going to make sure CJ gets his medium well steak. And Quentin Baker, how do you like
medium
your?
Well?
Yeah, a couple medium well guys.
A big one, Coach.
Yeah, big one too. You'll get a big one.
What they got? Hot dogs and the beans?
Yeah, the red team. I thought with the score line, they're going to have hot dogs and beans. So. I think I might mix in a hamburger or two there, but overall, very pleased with the work we got in and had a good time out there today.
Did you expect the white squad to run away with it like that?
I didn't. It played out the first two quarters probably more like I thought it would. From the standpoint of not. I thought it was pretty evenly matched. The opening kickoff for a touchdown, wink, wink. That was by design on both sides, just because we hadn't installed our full special teams units. But we wanted to start both halves with a traditional start with a kickoff so we could simulate a game. So really at halftime, the white squad was up, pretty significantly because they hadn't gotten their touchdown yet until the second half started. So, I did see that they were probably going to run away with it. And with that, Drew Eccles really operated the offense very well. And I thought on the other side of the ball, Mike White was, I believe, 14 to 17, completed 7 straight balls, and just operated the offense extremely well, particularly knowing that that's not necessarily the only group of receivers he's going to be playing with in the fall. And he had a chance to see some of the other weapons on the white team that he's been working with all spring ball.
Mike, take me back to the day before you hit the field for your first spring practice. Between then and now, did you get everything done that you hoped to accomplish?
We did. I think the key phrase is that we got everything done we wanted to accomplish, but we're still a work in progress. If we were in mid-season form right now, I'd be concerned, because you want to grow. You want the offseason to be something that we can really grow on. And I think offensively, just the biggest thing is always going to be just timing and communication, gelling offensive lines together. And obviously today wasn't about that. That'll be what camp's really about, is to really identify who our 5 to 7 best offensive linemen are, plug those guys together, mix them up, throw them into a salad bowl, shake them up, and see how it all best is served. And I think that's going to be what our offensive line is going to do definitely in this coming fall. And definitely with Mike White being a returner and all he's done, I think it's great for him to see some of those playmakers emerge out on the perimeter, and now he can really go into the offseason being somebody who's going to lead those guys in voluntary throwing sessions, as well as the player run practices that we're going to get done. So a very good spring. Love the competitiveness. Love the fact that we were in it, full-heartedly until the very last day.
A lot of numbers to replace at wide receiver, but it looks like you've found some of those answers throughout spring, especially with Jernigan and his game.
Yeah, I thought Quinn Jernigan was outstanding today. He finished out spring ball playing very, very well. Xavier Lane had incredible flashes throughout the course of all spring ball, and his confidence is only going to grow. And then Devin Nixon had a really good spring. Didn't have as good of a spring game as he had been having for the last 14 practices, and certainly you take that all into account in terms of the production he had this spring. And then Kylan Towner, man, I can't tell you enough about just the way that he caught the ball, a weapon. And then Lucky Jackson's really been our leader, at that position. So very impressed with the work that those guys have put in, and looking forward to see that continued growth.
On that note, how nice was it to drop a play for Taywan Taylor?
Well, I took that one out of the head ball coach's playbook. That was a staple at the South Carolina and Florida spring games for a long time, and he had a chance to speak to our team, right before we took the field today. And that was, Steve Spurrier Jr. gave me that idea, and I thought no better way to honor the career of Taywan Taylor than to give him one more crack at catching a touchdown here in Fikes Field. So it was an awesome cap to a fun spring, and obviously a fun culmination to his career.
Three
Mike,
long
what's it like?
touchdowns for Quentin Baker. Just think of the way he ran today.
He ran possessed. He ran like a man that wanted to find the end zone. He ran like a guy that, he showed great patience, which I was really excited about. That's something that we've been working on with Quentin. He's got so much speed that, if he can be slow to the line of scrimmage and then fast through, he's going to be dangerous in this conference. And, feel really good about his development. And the number one thing that we challenged him in before we started spring ball is we want him to be great with the football in his hands in terms of ball security. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe that he had one fumble the entire spring. And that's a testament to him taking a coaching point and making it an emphasis for him personally.
Mr. Coach, raising the Western W.
Yeah, I thought that was a tradition that we wanted to start. That W in particular is symbolic here of the tradition that we have. It's when you go over to Diddle and you walk around and see some of the old pictures of the letter sweaters and some of the old jerseys that were worn in multiple sports. I think that white W really stands out. We wanted to make it, a point that W is going to be something that we do on Mondays of game weeks, and we want to raise the W, if you will, raise that flag, and we're going to have a player of the game from the previous game is going to be the person that raises that W, and we want the whole community to rally behind it. All the towels we make, the red towels, are going to have that same W on it. So we want to get that towel out there. We want to get that white W out there because it stands for Western and it stands for winner. And we want those two things to be synonymous with that red W, or that red towel with the white W on it.
Ja'Cour Pearson and Taylon living in for the red team too. Really young guys, redshirt freshmen coming up. Just they were really active in the game today. Just what'd you think of the way they were able to come out?
I thought Ja'Cour Pearson's he's a dangerous player with the ball in his hands, and as soon as his confidence continues to grow, he's going to be special. He's going to be dynamic. He's so fast. He's slippery. If we feel good about that H position between him and Kylan Towner, and then obviously bringing Nakarius Fant back is going to be a nice bonus. So we're looking forward to that group. And T1 Ligon. T1 Ligon is a guy that we found out of biology class here on campus. He was not literally, but he came out as a student tryout guy, and he had a really good spring and just gives us really good depth. And quite frankly, we couldn't have gotten through the spring game without having discovered T1 Ligon. So he's might be the player of the day from that standpoint.